My Cal is a crown prince?
Well, I don't know whose Cal he is, but he's a prince, all right. Oh, I'll get that. Guard it with your life.
He never told me. He wanted me to treat him like just an ordinary boy. It's the most romantic thing I've ever heard.
General Sarika.
Mr. Lane, I'm very sorry to intrude without notice, but the matter is urgent.
Yes, well, I know why you're here, General, and I assure you they had no idea the emerald was genuine.
Emerald?
Yeah, it's right in here. General Sarika, may I present Mrs. Lane, my daughter Patty.
I'm very happy to meet you, General. Your nephew has spoken of you.
I have come on behalf of His Highness, the Crown Prince of Buchanistan, to bring a proposal of marriage.
Oh, Mom.
To your niece, Catherine.
Cathy? Are you sure you got the message right? I'm Patty. Both our names end in Y. It's very easy to make a mistake.
There is no mistake.
I'll get Cathy. Don't anybody dare say a word until I get back.
I don't know what to say, General. This comes as something of a shock.
I'll say.
His Highness is very impulsive, but once his mind is made up, he does not change it. If your niece will have herself in readiness at noon tomorrow, a limousine will pick her up and bring her to the embassy, where the marriage contract will be signed. Will that be convenient?
I'm afraid not.
Another time would be more convenient?
Yes, about 5 years from now. General Sarika, Cathy is 16 years old.
I have pointed that out to His Highness. He said he has nothing against older women.
Older?
In our country, the brides are usually younger. Your Highness.
Cathy, this is General Sarika. Now, the General has come here...
I know. Aunt Natalie told me. Talmer sent you.
His Royal Highness has asked me to convey to you his deep feelings for you and assurances that he will do everything in his power to see to your future happiness.
He said that?
Well, now, this is all very flattering, and we certainly appreciate the honor, General, but...
Your niece will be given a dowry of £1 million. She will have her own staff of servants, motor cars, a summer palace and a winter palace.
A summer palace and a winter palace?
Oh, General, I'm afraid
The marriage ceremony will take place in Buchanistan in 10 days.
No, it won't. Now, please tell the prince there is not going to be any ceremony. General Sarika, you must realize that American customs are a little different.
But surely these customs are the same all over the world.
Well, not in this case. His Royal Highness has picked the wrong girl. I mean, Cathy is not even out of high school yet. Surely you don't believe that she's going to leave her home and travel halfway around the world to live in a foreign country with the Crown Prince? Well, tell him, Cathy.
Yes.
Martin, we've got to find a way to stop this.
We're going to, but not by forbidding them to see one another. We've got to be very careful that Cathy doesn't get hurt. We can't afford to offend Calmere. I mean, he's the head of a country, remember?
How could I forget it? Why couldn't they have brought a cat home?
What?
Nothing. Hadn't we better send Kenneth a cable?
And say what? Congratulations, you're going to be a father-in-law? Now, don't worry, Natalie. Believe me, Cathy will not go through with it. She's far too sensible.
You mean she's too sensible to turn down a handsome young prince whom she loves, £1 million, a summer palace, a winter palace...
Wait a minute. Whose side are you on?
There's a lot to be said for the other side, Martin. And besides, Cathy loves Cal.
How does she know who she loves? She's only 16.
I married you when I was 17.
Well, that was different. I mean, Cathy is attracted by the glamour, the fantasy of being a princess and ruling a country. It's storybook stuff.
It does sound glamorous, doesn't it?
Well, it's not going to sound so glamorous after I finish talking to her. I'm going to point out a few of the grim realities. She's going to be living in an underdeveloped country where there's a very high rate of poverty and living conditions are appalling. Don't worry. I'll knock that romantic little dream out of her. Oh, hello, Cath.
Hello, Uncle Martin. You're home early.
Yes. He has a lecture to give.
I've had the most wonderful time. I've been out shopping with Calmere.
Oh, what'd you buy? Matching elephants?
Isn't hers?
Cathy, sit down. Your Aunt Natalie and I want to talk to you. Now, Cathy, you're only 16 years old. You just can't get married and go running off to live in a country halfway around the world.
I agree.
You do? I told you there was nothing to worry about.
I talked to Cal and his uncle about it. I'm going to sign the marriage contract now, but I have to stay here and finish school. I won't go to Afghanistan until I'm 18. Look at these books and maps Cal bought me. I want to learn everything there is to know about Afghanistan before I go over there.
Well, I think I can help you. I'd like to give you a few facts about Afghanistan.
Wonderful. Cal has already told me quite a bit about it. Did you know that its per capita income is one of the lowest in the world? The poverty and disease over there are incredible. And do you know what it's due to?
No.
Ignorance. They need schools, hospitals, roads. Cal and I have been talking about an irrigation project. If it works, it could turn a whole desert into farmland. Look. We could raise the per capita income 17% in the first 2 years. Isn't that exciting?
She asked you if that isn't exciting.
Oh, yes, very. Where's the money coming from?
Part of it is coming from me.
You mean you're going to irrigate a whole desert on $5 a week?
Cal is going to sell that emerald he gave me. At first he hated the idea. It's been in his family for hundreds of years. But I convinced him that unless it's put to use, it's just a worthless stone. It could feed 1,000 families for 3 years. Isn't it incredible? No one ever thought of it that way before. If you'll excuse me, I want to get some charts ready. Calmira's coming over.
Well, you sure talked her out of her romantic little dream. What are we going to do now?
Cable Kenny's going to be a father-in-law.
Come in. What did you knock for? It's your room, too. I didn't want to disturb you if you were working on affairs of state or anything. What? If you want me to, I'll move into Ross's room and he can sleep on the couch. Don't you want to share this room with me anymore? Sure, but... Well, when you move into the palace, I don't want you to have to tell him the last place you lived you had to share a room and bath. What are you standing at attention for? Sit down. When do you sign the marriage contract? Friday? Gee, only 3 more days as a civilian.